two unbeaten heavyweights.
Best British heavyweight fight for a long time.
Exceptional fight, yeah, can't wait.
That's what we want, great fights.
It's too close to call. One of the best fights to remember for a long time.
I can see it going both ways. I can see Dubois being able to stop Joyce in an early shootout. But if it's not an early shootout and it becomes a boxing match, a long-range jab, sort of looking for breaks, I believe that works in Joe Joyce's favour. So I'm going to lean towards the man that I know. I know him personally. I've seen him up close take some beatings. He soaks it up. So I'm going to have to go with the guy that I know, Joe Joyce, by points decision or late stoppage.
I think Joyce can be a world champion, and I also think Daniel Dubois can, but one's very, very young. I'm maybe a little bit worried about, is it too early for Daniel Dubois? Because Joe Joyce is a big, strong, seasoned man. We know he's got a good engine. He can hold the shot well. It's an hard one. It's a very difficult. For my money, it's a bit too soon for Daniel Dubois, but it's a good fight.
I see it being a shootout. I think Dubois' extra speed will give him the edge, and I think he'll win by knockout.
50-50 you want. I think most people would probably lean towards Dubois slightly because he's just a man in form. He's a little bit fresher, you know, obviously, Joe's had a very distinguished amateur career, maybe a few more miles on the clock than Daniel. Quite versatile, Joe. You know what I mean? He can do pretty much everything. But the thing is, his maybe style is a little bit, he's a little bit in your face in front of you, which might suit Daniel Dubois. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but Daniel might be a little bit fresher and a little bit confidence up. I think that might just make the difference.
My prediction for Joe Joyce versus Dubois is an explosive fight. Could go either way. Big punching guys looking for the big one. I edge Dubois at this moment.
Daniel's looked spectacular in all of his fights so far. I think it's because the opponents have been perfectly suited to him. You can only credit him. He's a young man. He's beaten everyone put in front of him. Joe's had a much harder career, and we think the levels are going to show on the night. And I wholeheartedly believe Joe Joyce is going to stop Daniel Dubois.
You got Joe Joyce. He's coming from the Olympics. I've seen him against Bryant, the American, and he disposed of him well. And Dubois, he's got a hell of a right hand. And anytime you see him fight, he's looking to land it. And I'm sorry for the person that is on the other end of that right hand. And he's making quite a mark for himself. So you got a great puncher against a great seasoned Olympian.
I think if Daniel Dubois can land a big shot early on, then I think it'll be his contest. But if Joe Joyce can get through the first 3 or 4 rounds and take Daniel into the later stages, and that's what I think he'll be hoping to do, then the tide will turn. The tide could turn after 5 or 6 rounds. So who knows? If I have to put money on it, I would probably just fancy Daniel, to be quite honest.
It's a matchup that's going to have fireworks. There's going to be bombs thrown all over the place. Definitely going to be knockdowns. I feel that's going to be a very entertaining fight, very explosive and non-stop action. But the way Joyce fights is he's come forward, he just don't stop throwing punches. And when that happens to Dubois, he falls back, so it's going to be a collision.
I think it'll be a very good fight. I quite highly favour Dubois, but if Joyce can weather a bit of a storm, then I think he's in with a chance if he takes it past 4-6 rounds. If you put a gun to my head, I would say I would have to put my money on Dubois.
It's a real 50-50 fight in my opinion. I think a lot of people are writing Joe off. But it's a lot closer than that. Joyce has got a very good amateur pedigree. The Olympic silver medalist, in my opinion, should have been gold. But Daniel, on the other hand, very big power puncher, massive backhand. So it's a very, very good fight. I think under 6, I think I'm going to favour Daniel in this one. But over 6, I said this previously in the press conference, Joyce has got power in both hands, but continuously for 12 rounds. So it'd be interesting to see what happens over 6. So it's a 50-50 fight.
Don't know. It's sitting 50-50 in my mind because obviously Joyce, he can shift a shot. He's more experienced, I'd say, in the field. Coming from the amateurs and then the England squad and then the WSB fights. He's had some good fights as a professional as well with Bryant Jennings and all them opponents. So you've got him on one side, but then you've got a young bull in Daniel Dubois, you know, British champion on his way up. I know it's cliche to say, you know, if it goes long, Joyce wins, but if it goes short, Daniel will win it. But really, I wish good luck to both men. I hope they put on a great fight, and whoever wins, may the best man win.
I want to be there for that. I want to be the commentary man for that fight. Because that's the fight I do not want to miss. Both good fighters. Joe's a big, strong unit. Juggernaut, get in the way, he'll run you over. And Daniel's big and strong and youth and fresh. Listen, they're both good fighters, and I think it'll come down to who wants it more on the night, to be fair. They're both capable of winning, they're both capable of pulling victories out, and they're both capable of knocking the other person out. So it's a fight you don't want to miss, and watch it live and exclusive on BT Sport.